So he would smell so bad that when he comes back in the afternoon to train, he doesn't shower in between his sessions. And so like the coaches that are training other, members there would just like look at us with the weirdest face, like a stink face. And then Michael would try to take Ian to the corner where there's not a lot of members of the gym, so they don't have to smell it.
I try to take him to the open doorway.
Yeah, so that does happen. I'm not lying. It's true. He doesn't shower.
Yeah, it's over for Idubbbz, I'm afraid. He got absolutely violated in this interview we're going to take a look at today. But before we do, I just want to point out the fact that when it comes to Idubbbz, everybody's quick to point out that he's never going to beat the cuck accusations, right? But I want to point out now that on top of everything that's happened thus far in this classic saga of self-destruction, it would appear that Ian will also never beat the stinky bitch allegations. And that's pretty tough, man. You really hate to see it, but for those of you that weren't aware of the situation, Ethan Klein had Ian's personal trainer and his wife on his podcast, and they got talking about Ian and Anisa naturally, right? And this interview goes on to really expose them. I mean, it's bad, genuinely unbelievable just how shitty these pioneers of empathy really are. But enough with all the introductions. Let's just go ahead and roll this shit. I'm sure it'll be oh so educational as always. Also, like the video. Don't be a dick. Also, I do want to point out real quick that there is so much to this interview that if I were to have included everything, we'd be here for a while. So I just took the liberty of supplying what I felt were the highlights. As you'll soon see, these Ian and Anisa highlights are next level. They're like Tavon Austin and his highlight tape, but instead of having the greatest college football highlights of all time, it's just the shittiest people in the entire universe tape. So let's go ahead and start with the gym incident.
We actually had asked Ian if he could help us open a gym, not even financially, because at the time we were okay. So we were like, hey, could you just help us out by signing as a guarantor? And he had told us in no world could he ever help us.
He said that?
Literally.
He said it like in a mean way?
Yes.
In no world. He said, in no world could I help you.
Why would he respond like that?
He did.
Yeah.
He did. And so Michael and I had the capital for our business, but we needed a personal guarantor to help us because we have a new LLC. And so I told Michael, maybe we should ask Ian and Anisa, because when they came to us, they had no fight promoter, they had no manager, they had nothing. They were just the two of them, and we didn't know who the hell they were, right? But we stuck it out with them, and we helped them. So even if they couldn't be that personal guarantor for us, they can guide us, right? They can be like, hey, let me give you some referrals or something.
Let me put you in, yeah, right.
Yeah, but instead they responded with, in no world would we or would we like help you guys.
Why so mean? Why were they so mean?
And I believe that was Anisa texting, not Ian, because those are her words. She always uses the words in no world. Yeah, that's her favorite word.
Man, what? That's rude as fuck. Like, seriously, man, that is so fucking rude. And for what? What was the goal with that statement? I swear these two people gotta be like NPCs, bro. There's no other way to describe it. Like, genuinely, who talks to another person like that when they just ask a simple favor? Like, this is the personification of like, oh, go ask that girl out. What's the worst she could say? Well, apparently it's that.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Okay, a simple wrong would have done just fine, but...
Like, these people have zero social skills, but are we really surprised that the stinky bitch who never got any ass until he was in his late 20s turned out to be an NPC with no morals or manners? Are we really all that surprised? Apparently, it could have also been Anisa on Idubbbz' phone, and so the whole thing is just absolutely insane if that's true, because either way you spin it, you either look like a bitch or you're rude as fuck, because you let your wife pretend to be you on your phone. Like, that's tough, man. This has got to be, like, top 10 saddest existences of all time. And like they said, man, these people stuck by them, supporting them till the bitter end, even when CC2 crumbled. They did them a solid, and so you would think that any normal person would reciprocate that energy, but not these self-absorbed people. These self-absorbed losers that only care about themselves. They weren't even asking for financial support. Like, how hard is it to say, oh man, my trainer, he's a good guy, he's good at what he does, he's got this gym, you guys should support him if you want like a good place to work out. It literally takes 2 seconds. But no, that was just too much work for these people. Like, give me a break, man. What losers, genuinely? Like, these people stuck their necks out for you and tried to make something out of nothing with the whole CC2 disaster. And look, it could be a misunderstanding, maybe we'll give them the benefit of the doubt here. It could have been a misunderstanding. I mean, because apparently a guarantor, or however you put it, become responsible for the debt if like they weren't able to, I guess, pay for it. But they made it very clear that, yeah, we've got the funds, we just need like to get the word out there, right? I don't know, regardless, that's just rude as fuck to say, no way in this world. Like, again, would it have been so hard to just say, oh no, sorry, we can't? Like, come on, man. That's just insane, especially coming from the people who discovered empathy for the first time at the ripe age of unk status. To me, they were probably just frustrated with how everything turned out, their financial situation. And I feel like given their failures to take any sort of responsibility in the past, I'll bet they like genuinely blame these people for the event's failure or something. That genuinely would not surprise me. But like, again, they have no one to blame but themselves.
I'm a child bride survivor. And at the age of 12, I was put into a child marriage from the time I was 12 until 23. Within my child marriage, I had 2 kids when I was 15 and 17. And this happened in America, okay? And Ian and Anisa are well aware of my story because I've had them in my home. They've seen my kids and everything. And so last year, right, 2024, I learned that there was a House bill in Washington State trying to pass House Bill 1455 to end child marriage. And so when I learned of this bill, I thought to myself, even though it had been 15 years since I escaped my prison, like, this is a chance for me to come forward and tell my story. I sent, so Michael and I went to Olympia in Washington. We met with politicians. We lobbied to support the bill. I gave my public testimony to support the bill. And, I was on Seattle Times and television and everything. And I reached out to Ian and Anisa and I asked them if they could help, share the information because it was really important to me that this bill passed. And they just both left me on red.
Damn, man, that's fucking crazy. But I've got to ask the question, was this like pre-patch or was this post-patch? Like, had they acquired the empathy stone yet at this point? Or is that like at a later update? But I'm confused, man. Most normal people that hear something like this would be like, damn, what the fuck? That's awful. That's horrible. Like, where do I sign up, right? When I tell you my jaw hit the floor when I saw this, I'm not kidding, man. I looked fucking ridiculous. I looked goofy as fuck, I looked like I was out of a goddamn Tom and Jerry cartoon. I didn't even know something like this was legal in this country, and I did not know that anything like that was even remotely possible. And I feel like people that are really as good of people as, Ian and Anisa would like you to believe would hop on that shit right away, want to use their platform to condemn it, make people aware of it. Where do I sign up? Like I said, let's get the ball rolling yesterday on this. They wouldn't even have to move a finger, to really get that ball rolling on something like this because that's how big of a platform they have, right? But instead, these miserable people left them on red like they're a goddamn reverse stoplight. Like, do Ian and Anisa secretly support child brides? Like, make this make sense to me. Come to think of it, maybe Ian is a child bride himself. That would certainly explain a lot. I mean, the stinky bitch that's never felt the touch of a woman, up until this point, and who has led a fucking, children's sticker book and overall solid 5 like Anisa reshape the whole trajectory of his career. This shit had to be set up, man. Ian does not get bitches. But like I said with the whole gym thing, man, these people put in the time and work to try and make Creator Clash work, despite Ian and Anisa throwing it all away to fund some sort of like Diddy party or something with Hamas Piker and a bunch of these other washed up content creators. And yet they couldn't even be bothered to try and help these people who viewed them as friends, and clearly saw potential in them. Like, if I were this personal trainer, if I was this boxing coach, I'd have just threw in the towel on Ian, straight up. I'd be on them, fuck them kids type energy. Cancer research? Nah, fuck all that noise. Research your own goddamn... Oh, okay. Let's calm down. But like, seriously, this was clearly an uphill battle from the start, but they still saw it through to the bitter end. I mean, seriously, how do you even work with something like this? And when I say this was an uphill battle, man, I mean it. Because, like, take a look at this.
By the way, there's this clip here I want to watch. I've been having it on standby. It's when you referenced the toxic masculinity comment aimed towards you. Let me
other
see.
than boxing. You don't have time or energy to do anything other than boxing. There's just like a lot of things that I've had to learn along the way. Like my coach is a tough ass guy. You know, he's got a little of the toxic male qualities, and it's made it hard sometimes.
Oh my god, like I said, man, how do you work with this? Are you dead ass, bro? This dude has to be trolling. This thing was destined to fail from the start. I don't care if that boxing coach is goddamn fucking Conor McGregor. I don't care if he's Jesus Christ himself. You are not resurrecting this event, me boy. That shit was doomed to fail from the start. The second Idubbbz was on that fighting card, it's time to pack it up, me boy. You're done, buddy. But like, seriously, what the fuck am I hearing, man? Talking about some toxic masculinity. Does he not realize what it is we're talking about here? You know, we're talking about a pretty barbaric sport like boxing. You know, this is about as physical of a sport as it gets. You know, this isn't fucking flag football. This isn't no goddamn cornhole, buddy. I realize that his definition of proper masculinity is sitting in the old cup chair or him getting pegged in the cornhole. But like, in all seriousness, you know, what was this dude expecting? He was just expecting it to be sunshine and roses. Like, what a pussy, dude. Bro really tried to come out and slander his boxing coach, you know, paint him out to be this hard, terrible person just because he couldn't handle the sport. Like, this is embarrassing, man. This is the same guy who's been calling everybody, you know, like donut operator from my video from the other day. If you didn't watch that, check it out. But he was over there calling him a pussy, you know, he just got done calling him a coward. And this is a guy who was a former police officer and served in the military. Toxic masculine. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Jesus Christ.
She used to always tell her mom, I'm going to be with a millionaire. And so we think that once she
used
kind
to
of got
tell her mom that she would be with a millionaire? How do you know
Her
that?
mom told her that it had to be someone rich.
How did you know that?
Well, she told
She
us.
would tell us that.
It was, I remember exactly. It was when we were in Vegas going to the other podcast, and we were inside the Uber, and we were with Ian and Anisa. And Anisa said that like her mom only had two expectations for her to marry someone that was rich and also to be of her religion, right? And so she said that Anisa goes, well, I mean, I didn't get someone that was of my religion, but at least I got one part of it right. He's rich. And then she like laughed about it, and then he was in the car, and you could tell he was bothered by it.
I was bothered.
Who wouldn't be bothered by that?
Nah, bro, if I'm keeping it $150 with y'all, if my girl talking crazy like that, you know, she's out that bitch, you know, on some Beyonce timing. I'm talking about everything you own in a box to the left, motherfucker. That's wild, man. And not only does this show what little self-respect Ian has left, but it also sheds light on the timeless question. You know, what does zero pussy do to a motherfucker? It's this, man. Like, how are you gonna sit there and take that kind of abuse? I mean, it's bad enough she's talking psycho like that, but in front of other people, man, that's gotta be embarrassing, man. Like, there's seriously no excuse for this. Yet he's decided to stay with this bitch. Like, even though I pray on Idubbbz's downfall daily, I still think I might be just a little bit sick from all of this. I mean, Anisa, a gold digger, you know, who embarrasses her husband like he's her little bitch. You know, who on earth could have seen something like this coming? Nah, this comes to the surprise of absolutely no one, but like still, man, come on. Like, you gotta figure it out, dude. But yeah, that's going to do it for me, guys. Just to kind of close out the video here, I think it's so sad how Ian and Anisa treated these two people that just genuinely wanted to provide them with a good experience and help them create this great charity event. And they treated them like absolute garbage. Like, again, they spent a lot of time with these people, so it obviously implies that there was some sort of friendship there, right? And basically, Ian and Anisa just spit on these poor people. I think this will come as like a real eye-opener for the few friends and the few supporters they have left. Like, who would genuinely want to be friends with these people? Ethan donates $5,000 to Coach Mike and Kate. It's the same amount that they were supposed to receive as a bonus from Ian and Anisa, but never got. It is not right that he stiffed you guys. Yeah, these people are pieces of shit, man. But thank y'all so much for watching the video. If y'all enjoyed, leave a like, rating, subscribe to the channel for more commentaries just like this. And leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear what y'all have to say about all this. I'm done yapping for now. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.